Wakey, wakey, rise and shine.
Radio Jordan.
It's the breakfast show.
All right, good morning everyone. You're tuned into Radio Jordan. It's the breakfast show with yours, Ghada. Happy Women's Day to all the great women out there. Now with me on the phone is Ms. Pamela Di Camillo, a GBV Specialist. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How is your day so far? Pretty good?
Yes, pretty good, thank you.
Happy Women's Day.
Same to you, and same to everyone who's listening.
Absolutely. So, Ms. Pamela, today we are celebrating International Women's Day. Can you tell us more about this day and why is it important?
Yes. Thank you for having me. Each year, the UN release a global theme on the occasion of International Women's Day on the 8th of March, indeed. And this year, the theme is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow, recognizing the contribution of women and girls around the world and in Jordan who are leading the change on climate change, adaptation, mitigation, and response to build a more sustainable future for all. Mm-hmm. In addition to women's leadership role, women and girls are considered as more vulnerable to climate change impacts than men, as they constitute the majority of the world's poor and are more dependent on the natural resources, which climate change threatens the most.
Mm-hmm. So, Ms. Pamela, you highlighted that this year the International Women's Day focus is on climate change and recognizing women's role in mitigating the risks of climate change. And we would like to congratulate you on launching today a research brief on a paper on the impact of climate change on exacerbating risks of GBV. Can you tell us more about the findings of the paper, and was there a need for this paper?
Thank you so much. Yes, as UNFPA, we are very proud today to launch this paper. And this is the first brief paper of this kind that really look at the impact of climate change on gender-based violence. So this paper really is filling a gap on knowledge that we really don't know what's happening about this issue. So we are very proud that we partner with research institutions to really shed the light on some important findings that to look at some of the linkages. Let me just highlight for you a couple of the key findings.
Yes, please.
Women are responsible for household chores, and it also means that they are responsible for rationing water and prioritizing the chores according to the availability of the water and finding ways to cope when this is scarce. Now, the point is that the pressing issue in Jordan when it comes to climate change is water scarcity. Jordan is one of the top 5 most water-stressed countries in the world. And the situation is not going to improve if we continue like this. So this will have an impact. It has an impact now. It will continue to have an impact on women, on their responsibility to rationing water. But also, water scarcity is demonstrated to lead to increase in family tension. Whenever there is scarcity of resources inside families, it's water, food, or money, this increases family tension, and this could also lead to an increase of intimate partner violence or domestic violence. So those are factors that we should take into consideration. And lastly, I also would like to talk about the fact that water shortage coupled with financial constraints impact women and girls during their menstrual cycle. A lot of the women we made research with really were pointing to their inability to manage their cycle in a safe and dignified manner. So those are all aspects about women's safety that we should take into consideration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now, what are some key recommendations that this paper reflected, and where can listeners find the paper?
The listeners can find the paper on the UNFPA website. Mm-hmm. So you can Google it and put UNFPA Jordan, and you will find the paper uploaded on the website. Both in English and in Arabic. In terms of key recommendation, the paper looks at really recommend to create more evidence on the topic and more evidence-based programming on the impact of climate change on gender-based violence, and look maybe closer to some issues like, for example, sexual harassment for the women who have the responsibility of fetching water in some particular communities in Jordan. But also recommend to work with women leaders in the field of the environment to increase their participation in adaptation and mitigation response. And also recommend to really work across different sectors to collaborate to minimize the negative impacts of climate change on women and girls. And of course, raising awareness at community level, so that also community has the knowledge and all the tools to mitigate risks, but also to ensure that women are contributing to adaptation strategies.
Mm-hmm. That's true. All right. Pamela Di Camillo, GBV Specialist at UNFPA, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Happy Women's Day, and shine on today and every day.
Thank you, Rada. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Many come and go, but this one is here to stay forever.
Radio Jordan, the station you grew up with.